How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Staying Focused for Jesus. If you hear some background noise, it's because I'm sitting in my wife's van, enjoying some of this cool air and just enjoying the sounds, enjoying God's creation as I make this video. And you may hear cars go by or birds chirping or whatever. But we will be discussing in this video the power of witchcraft. And to address that, we're going to be using the world famous, the hell famous, because Tom Brady is famous everywhere, especially in hell. We're going to be using him as an example of the power of witchcraft. And some of you may know these things and some of you may not. As you see on the screen, you have Mr. Tom Brady kissing his son on the lips. Now you may say, oh, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Well, you may say that, but there's something very wrong with a grown man kissing their son on the lips. And somebody may say, well, those are their traditions. Okay, where did they get those traditions from? Did they get it from God Almighty? Because if I recall in the scriptures, when they greeted each other with a kiss, it wasn't on the lips. And when you study these different things out in regards to this, men kissing men on the lips like they are kissing their wife, you really see where it's rooted at. Lil Wayne and Baby were kissing, and there's some interviews with the members of Cash Money talking about that and how it was awkward and stuff and what really went down. Because Baby of Cash Money, he's into the same thing too. Because they are of the same group, the same order, the Luciferian order. And if you watch my, previous video I did in regards to judging, I mentioned in there later in the video about Romans chapter 1, and then we read Romans chapter 2, a little bit of Romans chapter 2. And when I was addressing the point that I was making, I mentioned how if you are a liar, then you are also a sodomite. If you are a sodomite, you are also a pedophile. If you are any of these things that God is against, if you are one of these things that God is against, then you are all of those things that God is against because you support those things. So if you support sodomy, you support pedophilia. You may say, well, no, that's not true. Time will tell, because we have that coming mainstream. And I just posted something about that on my Facebook page, how they're now teaching it in the schools. Some of you know about all this. They're teaching it in the public schools. They're teaching it in the universities, that pedophilia is a natural sexual orientation. But you don't hear many people speaking up about it. And they'll speak up for a little while, and then eventually those who are truly fake, they'll fall in line also. Say, hey, what can we do? So let's roll this first clip, and I'm going to interject on certain parts.
Okay, good afternoon, good evening, brothers and sisters. Well, I covered this recently. Tom Brady announced his 4 man crushes.
So Tom Brady is crushing. He has some man crushes. No real man of God is man crushing on any other man. Now, we give respect where respect is due. We give honor where honor is due. But we're not going Google Gaga like some female over other men. That is sodomite activity, and those are unclean spirits.
And to add to this, it seems like the guy will do anything to win that 6th Super Bowl ring, because it's trending on social media, him making out with his 11-year-old son. And there's some public outrage. The guy definitely appears to be one of those people that likes to kiss other people on their mouths, including other grown men in various photographs, and then all of his kids. It's like Full House level stuff. I've covered those creeps on Full House, John Stamos and Bob Saget kissing the Olsen twins on their mouths quite frequently, and Tom Brady seems to be one of those kinds of dudes. And for me, and I've covered this, working with treatment centers with sex offenders and all these types of things, you just shouldn't kiss kids on their mouths, babies, infants, toddlers, and certainly these teenage type kids. Of course, Will Smith famously used to make out with his son Jaden in all these different arenas, always kissing him on the mouth. And it's really creepy. It's, in general, something you don't do. It implies a certain level of sexuality and intimacy that kissing somebody on the cheek or something like that doesn't do. And there's just no reason for it. And why are you kissing your kids on the mouth? I mean, there's no benefit for it for anybody. I don't see why it's a positive thing. And like I said, it seems like this thing coming out in social media a couple of days before the Super Bowl is another way that Tom Brady is doing anything possible to guarantee they give him that 6th Super Bowl ring. We'll see what happens tomorrow. This is Paul Romano, definitely reporting from the apocalypse. Everyone have a blessed day and be grateful.
So, Mr. Tom, son of the devil, Brady, he has man crushes. I wonder, is there anybody out there that's man crushing on Tom, son of the devil, Brady himself? I wonder, is there anybody out there? And I wonder, is there a agenda that is going on, which is purposely being put in motion to normalize these different things, contrary to what God has said is normal?
And then also, we know the New England Patriots, they won the Super Bowl here in Atlanta a couple of weeks ago. And Charles Barkley, big sports personality, NBA, one of the greatest players of all time. He's based here in Atlanta a good part of the year. Bill Belichick, coach of the Patriots, he invited Tom Brady to go, well, he invited Charles Barkley to go see Patriots practice. And it's Valentine's Day, and last night Barkley was on Jimmy Kimmel. I think he may have a crush on Tom Brady.
Wait a minute.
I'm looking at these guys, and all of a sudden I look at Gronk, and then Tom Brady's like right here, and I look him in the eyes, and I said, damn, you a pretty man. That's what I was thinking to myself. And I got so embarrassed, I started turning my head to talk to him. I see why he scored all them touchdowns, because those defenses are looking at his eyes, and they get mesmerized.
Now here's Charles Barkley. And Charles Barkley is a big man. Majority of you know who Charles Barkley is. Here he is crushing, man crushing, sounding like a big sissy. Oh, I looked into his eyes, and his eyes were just so dreamy. I just wanted to lay down and sleep with him right there. I see why. I see why. So this isn't just a issue that is affecting so-called white people. This is also an issue that is affecting so-called black people too.
That's hilarious.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, Charles, there's nothing wrong with
He's trying to shoot his shot for Valentine's Day. Don't say that.
No, yeah, Charles-
he listens to the show.
and Tom Brady's with he's married to Giselle Bundchen.
To a supermodel, Victoria's Secret model. He's
But
good.
Charles Barkley, he could be shooting his shot. You never know.
Yeah.
Tom Brady or anybody else being married to a supermodel or any woman for that fact doesn't change the fact if a man is a sodomite. That's what we call in the closet. They hide in the closet because they're too ashamed to come out for whatever reason. There's multiple reasons a person may be too ashamed to come out or whatnot. A lot of it has to do with trickery, because you look at this man, Tom Brady, you're like, oh, he's such a beautiful person. You know, he's the GOAT of football. He's married to, you know, a beautiful supermodel, and his wife, Gretchen, is ugly. She looks like a witch. She is not a attractive, what we call white woman. And I'm not saying that from a racist standpoint, nothing like that, because I didn't sleep with my white women in the day. I didn't have me some white women. So a beautiful woman is a beautiful woman. And there's different levels of beauty, and the Bible does teach that or whatnot. But Gretchen, Gresson, whatever her name is, she's ugly. She's not even attractive. She's only portrayed as a beautiful woman, attractive woman, because the media does it. Now, you can take that how you want to. But just because he's married to a supermodel doesn't mean that he's good. That's a front. It is a front. As you will see later in the video as we continue to go on, especially in regards to her. She know what's up. She know what's up. They're not honoring marriage. It's a shame. It's a sham. It's a shame and a sham what they're doing.
Shooting that shot at Tom Brady. Go for it. We need to get Charles Barkley on and let him shoot his shot at Tom Brady. See if that works
Frank,
out.
make it happen.
All right, so now we're going to see if there's anybody out there that's crushing on Tom Brady. Anybody else? Anybody else that's crushing on Tom Brady. So you're going to have Conan the Barbarian. His name should be, because this is what these people are. These people that do these things, they are barbarians. They are barbarians. And he's speaking to this actress, I think her name is Elizabeth Banks. And I want you to really pay attention how she responds to some of the things that he's going to say early in this interview. And I also want you to pay attention to how he responds to her flirtatious activity. And I'm going to expound on it a little bit more.
First time that you and I met, I was with my wife, and afterwards we're driving home, and we had just met you, and my wife says, I have such a girl crush on Elizabeth Banks. And I thought, like, that's kind of, you know, a nice compliment.
Very nice.
From one woman to another. She was just so taken with you.
I love her, yeah. Your wife, Liza.
Yeah.
We're in love.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just giving you the update.
You too, really?
It's worked out.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
So thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for the intro.
As long as I get to hang around.
I'm married too, so it's a foursome.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Did you notice that when Conan brought up his wife having a woman crush, a unnatural attraction to this woman, Mrs. Banks, or Miss Banks, she put the tongue out on top of her lip because that turned her on. They like stuff like this. Oh, your wife has a crush on me? Yeah. And then it got a little bit weird, and people said, oh, they were joking. No, they're not joking. They're making a joke out of a situation because they are mocking the people who are in the audience. They are mocking the world. They're mocking Christ and everything that he stands for. So they make jokes about it. But everybody that has watched comedy or anything like that, you know that a joke is based off of a real life situation, or there's at least some truth to it. And then she talks about, yeah, you know, me and your wife, we're in love. You got the update. We have a spiritual connection that even though you're married to her, if I wanted to, I can come get your wife and I can sleep with her. There's nothing you could do about it. And then Conan the Barbarian responds with, as long as I get to watch and get to be there, then hey, I'm good. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about the sanctity of marriage and what marriage means, because he has gotten down like this. These are what we call swingers. And Conan, he looks like a sodomite himself. I guarantee that he is. He's got his back blown out a few times, doing the rituals and stuff like that. I guarantee it. And then she started to talk about, oh, it's a foursome now. And that's because she does that too. Her and her husband, that's how they get down. That's how they get down in Hollywood. Everybody knows that. Everybody that's in the know, they know that. It's just those who are on the outside, and a lot of us that profess to be Christians, oh, that's not possible. Like, what are you talking about? You haven't even done any research. The people will say it out their own mouth, and you will say it's not true or it's not possible. Man, go sit down somewhere.
Oh, well, I'll do it.
Yeah, why not?
Did it in college.
Ooh, hello.
You know what's funny?
Well, hey, what the hell, guys? Let's do it. I don't really want you to sleep with my wife, but, I did it in college, so, hey, I might as well do it again. So you did it in college, having these orgies. And now you're married and you say, I did it in college, so I might as well do it while I'm married too.
Funny, guys don't say, I've got a guy crush on that guy. It's a funny thing. I've heard women say, oh, I have such a girl crush on her, and they feel confident doing it. But no guy says, I've got such a guy crush on that other guy.
I mean, no, I've heard like
We
man
just call it
crushes.
crushes.
Yeah, there's no gender involved.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
what guy says, I've got a crush on that
I think
other
they say
guy?
man crush, because that seems way more tough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You got
yeah.
a man, not
crush.
a boy crush.
Right, they don't want a bromance.
No, it's not a bromance. A
No.
guy crush seems less threatening somehow.
I mean, I feel like my husband, I don't know. I think he'd do it with Tom Brady, right? Like, who wouldn't?
Your husband would do it with Tom Brady?
I don't know if Tom Brady were into it.
You know what? I think I would do it.
You
with
would do it with Tom Brady, right?
I'm from Boston. You're
Sure.
from Boston. I think I would.
Yeah.
I think I would.
Yeah.
I definitely think I would sleep with Tom Brady. I'm that excited.
I don't know why you wouldn't.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
So there
We're
you go.
both men.
Man crush.
I don't know.
I think I'd do it just to get at that Giselle.
Yeah. That would be the way.
Yeah.
What do you mean? You'd be
I'd show
making out
her.
with Tom Brady but looking over at Giselle?
Yeah.
Man, these folks are sick. It's a joke to them. They're sitting there laughing about it. They're sitting there laughing and joking about it. And this fat white guy, he over there with his legs over there. Don't get me started on body language. Don't get me started on body language. So Conan just told you that he would sleep with Tom Brady. He would get his back blown out if Tom Brady was into that. And then the liberal woman, yeah, why would you not sleep with Tom Brady? Like, who wouldn't? My husband would sleep with Tom Brady. I think my husband would sleep with Tom Brady. Yeah, because your husband probably, I'm going to say probably, he has already slept with other men. You may be the very one that turned him out when y'all was doing your swinging and stuff. They're laughing about it. Yeah, I would sleep with Tom Brady to get to his wife. His wife don't want you, bruh. She don't want you. If she wanted you, she could have had you. So this is how these people get down. You got two men. I don't care if they were white speaking or they were black. Two supposed to be men on a national stage talking about how they would either or both of them have Tom Brady blow their back out or they blow his back out. Sick. But these are the people that are put in the forefront and pushed, and they make these jokes and that Conan the Barbarian is so funny. That Elizabeth, she's so beautiful. She's so sexy with her red lipstick on. She can get the business. Yeah, she gonna give you the business. And then she gonna turn you over to the wolves. Let's continue forward.
Supermodel Giselle stole the heart of Tom Brady, but that doesn't prevent others from admitting they have a crush on the Patriots quarterback. Ric Flair revealed, "Everybody loves to hate Tom Brady, but I love to love him." He added, "I'll admit it, I have a man crush on Tom Brady." It's even easy for Hollywood's leading actors to get lost in Brady's eyes. Boston guy Mark Wahlberg gushed, "They're bluer than Daytona Beach and spring break." Ben Affleck and Matt Damon have both defended number 12 till the end during Deflategate, and then argued with each other over who is better friends with the quarterback. When actor Chris Evans appeared on Jimmy Kimmel, he got called out for blushing when talking about Brady, and of the prospect of meeting him one day, he admitted, "I just don't want him to think I'm not cool." UFC President Dana White also fell victim to Brady's charm, stating, "I have a man crush on Tom Brady."
And all those men that you saw are sodomites. And most likely, pedophiles too. He blushed when he got caught looking into the eyes of Tom Brady. Oh my gosh, his eyes are so dreamy. I can't contain myself. My insides just burn with lust. To grab the back of his neck and just give him a big old kiss on his luscious, beautiful lips. Ugh. Man, I ain't like when I'm constipated, let alone just even the thought about a man on top of me. Nasty bastards.
With the Super Bowl coming up this weekend, everyone's talking about Tom Brady's kiss with his son! And why?
People are absolutely weirded out about it.
What? Why?
On his Facebook documentary show, Tom vs. Time, Tom Brady was laying down on a trainer's table. His 11-year-old son comes into the room.
I was wondering if I could check my fantasy team.
What do I get?
Notice that the boy doesn't want to do it. What do I get? He's like, "Oh man, Dad, like, come on, really?" He doesn't want to do it. And then, as you will see, when he does it, he makes him come back and give him a longer kiss, and then the boy wipes his mouth. The boy is uncomfortable with that. But he goes with it because his dad is Tom Brady. But of course, inwardly, he's like, this is wrong. But yet Tom Brady is still forcing his son to do that.
You know, Jack.
Oh, that's sweet! What the hell's the problem here?
Tom then says, basically, is that all? The kid comes back, and they have a much longer kiss.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's gonna set the internet on fire, yep.
Come on.
It's the fact that he made him come back.
It lingers for too long.
It's 2 seconds, maybe.
It's totally not a big deal. Just ask Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce out in Minnesota at a Super Bowl party.
I feel like it's definitely just family love. I wouldn't think Tom's on some weirdo stuff like that, man.
Yeah, plus Tom's been kissing his father on the lips for years.
Can I tell you something? I know a lot of people, especially Jews. I've seen adults where they kiss on the lips. Jews are very affectionate.
Excellent point.
Now, remember when I told you that if a person supports sodomy, they will support pedophilia. If they support sodomy, if they are a sodomite, then they are also a pedophile. If they are a liar or a whoremonger, they support all those different things. Interesting how Harvey, he jumped up and he was the first one to defend Tom, son of the devil, Brady's actions. You know why? Because Mr. Harvey, I forgot his last name, he is a sodomite. Go look it up. He has a partner. He has a sodomite lover. I think they're married, if I remember correctly. He's a sodomite himself. So, like I was telling y'all, they're going to support stuff like that. They have to. They have to. It was obvious the boy did not want to do it. And this is the agenda that's being pushed. I don't see nothing wrong with that. I don't see nothing wrong with it. It's only 2 seconds. How many of you even kiss your mama on the lips like that? Okay, if you don't kiss your mama or your daddy on the lips like that, then what in the world, why are you kissing your son like that? Now, we saw Tom Brady, he did it to his daddy, so that tells you how long this goes back. Because Tom Brady is most likely of a specific bloodline. Then Harvey goes in and said, I know Jews that kiss like this. It's a tradition. Nah, bruh. Nah, bruh. Jews don't do that. The fake Jews do that. Oh, but people say it doesn't matter who the Jews are. You see, the synagogue of Satan, well, they are a part of the synagogue of Satan, but the state of Israel and their traditions and everything, they do that. That was not a custom that my people had back in the day. It ain't no custom today. You don't even see the so-called Hebrew Israelites, the brothers in purple and stuff. You don't even see them doing that. They present themselves as strong brothers. They may talk about women and stuff like that and have multiple wives and everything, but they ain't talking about kissing another man in the mouth. They're not coming off as effeminate. They're coming off as strong brothers. Now, they got a lot of stuff wrong, but you can't put that on them. Tell me, that's how we get down. We ain't get down like that.
Point! That's what we'd say if Tom Brady were Jewish. But every culture has their own way of showing affection. Some don't kiss at all. Well, that's weird.
I want to know how long the kiss has to be before you say, that's weird. Is it 5 seconds? Is it 7 seconds? How long is it?
So tell us how long is appropriate, Jason.
Shorter than that. Yeah.
A round of applause for this man. Notice how Harvey he was getting upset. So how long should it happen, Jason? Jason told him, shorter than that. That's just wrong. I wonder if Jason is still working there. I wonder. Or did Harvey fire him? It's a spiritual war we're fighting. So now that we have established that, let's go see what Mr. Tom, son of the devil, Brady, has to say out of his own mouth. Out of his own mouth, in regards to how he has been able to be so successful, how he has been able to win all these Super Bowls. How? What is his secret? Everybody wants to know the secret sauce of Tom. And now you know his secret sauce. But now you're about to get a little bit deeper into it.
Any superstitions going into the game? Any special thing you carried into the game on Sunday that you had tucked away somewhere?
I did. I always, I've learned a lot from my wife over the years. And she's so about the power of intention, and believing things that are really going to happen. And she always makes a little altar for me at the game because she just wills it so much. And so she put together a little altar for me that I could bring with pictures of my kids. And I have these little special stones and healing stones and protection stones. And she has me wear a necklace and take these drops she makes, and I say all these mantras. And I stopped questioning her a long time ago. I did. I just shut up and listened. And at first I was like, this is kind of crazy. And then about 4 years ago, we were playing the Seahawks, and she said, you better listen to me. This is your year, but this is all the things you're going to have to do to win. And I did all those things, and by God, it worked. It was pretty good. And then in 2015, it was about early January, and she said, you know how much I love you? And I said, yeah. And she said, I just want to let you know this is not going to be your year. Oh. And of course we lost. I said, what does 16 look like? And she said, 16 is going to be your year. So it was early January this year, and I said, babe, asking, do we have a chance? And she said, yeah, but you're going to have to do a lot of work, and you're really going to have to listen to me. So, man, I listened to her. And right after the game, she said, see, I did a lot of work. You do your work, I do mine.
I do your work. Excuse me. I do my work, and you do yours. You do what you're supposed to do on the time field. I'm going to take care of everything in the spiritual realm because she's a witch. And he is quoted as saying that. She claims to be a good witch. I don't see anything about that in the scriptures about good witch, bad witch. Right. So what happens if somebody comes against her family or whatever? Is she still a good witch, or is she going to use her power, her witchcraft, to get back at those who are attacking her? Make sure y'all got your armor on while you're watching this video. Y'all make sure y'all send some prayers up for me, because don't think these spirits won't know when I drop this video, and it won't get back to her spiritually. She's in tune with all of this stuff. So y'all make sure y'all send some heavy artillery to protect your boy. You know? But she said it for herself. Or excuse me, he said it for himself. The woman is running the show. Tom Brady, he was a nobody. He had a few wins under his belt and stuff like that, but it went to a whole nother level. Went to a whole nother level because of his witch wife. And there are two families in the bloodline. They have been brought together by, as you can say, destiny, with her having that lineage of witchcraft, and Tom Brady coming from that lineage with the pedophilia and stuff like that, getting it from his father. It'll be interesting to read some of their books when they drop their books, because majority of them, they always release books, or the books of the family members or the people that were around them that will tell the true secrets, because they know that majority of people, they're not going to read them. Only those in the know are going to read it, and even those that do read it, that see those things, they'll go with it. And somebody will come along and they will read the book, and then they will capitalize off of it and, you know, write an article or whatever, because they want to bring some notoriety to their name. But by then it's too late and nobody really cares. But we care. So let's see what the no, before we do that, let's watch these last two clips in regards to pedophilia, Hollywood, and everything, and then we're going to go to some scriptures and see what the scriptures say. Also, let me add this. The Super Bowl that he was referring to was the Super Bowl against the Atlanta Falcons. Now, many of you remember that game, and it has went down as what? The greatest NFL comeback ever. The greatest NFL comeback ever on the biggest stage that you could be on. And his wife told him, if you do what I tell you to do, you're going to have to work hard to win. But if you do what I tell you to do, you will win. And that really cemented him in the minds of the sheeple, the masses, the ones who worship the devil. That really cemented Tom, son of the devil, Brady, as the GOAT of football in their minds, that much more. They already believed it, but that was just like the icing on top of the cake. It's like, I'm gonna, you know, Satan's like, I'm gonna show out with you. Just watch what I do. Watch what I do. Satan is over control over all of that right now. He can do that. He can give Tom Brady all these Super Bowl rings and, you know, manipulate the game and stuff like that. God is allowing it. God is allowing it right now, because it's all being used for a purpose and for a reason. So again, the Super Bowl that he was referring to was the Super Bowl against the Atlanta Falcons. So when people talk about, oh, the Super Bowl is rigged, yes, it is rigged, because you have spiritual beings that influence these different people to make a call at a certain time or do this and do that. And they already know what's going to happen because they've been around for a long time. So a lot of this stuff, they know who's going to win because they have money invested into it. You know, and they're working different things. So was the Super Bowl rigged? Of course it was, but not in the way that people teach that it is rigged, because they don't understand spiritual things. And this shaving thing they're doing is supposed to be for charity. What a lot of people don't realize is it was a ritual. It was a shaving ritual, and that's for another video. But there's a reason why they had this on this stage or whatnot under the guise of charity, because we know that's how they do. They present a lot of things as good, oh, it's for a good cause or whatnot. And at the end of the day, what they're doing is they're mocking God. So maybe one day I will get into the whole ritual that he was doing with the shaving of the beard in front of all the people and stuff like that. But let's push forward.
She said, "You're lucky you married a witch. I'm just a good witch." She said, "You're lucky you married a witch. I'm just a good witch."
Elijah Wood's shocking allegations against the entertainment industry. In a new interview with the Sunday Times, the former child star alleges that pedophilia has been a real issue in Hollywood. He tells the publication, quote, "There are a lot of vipers in this industry, people who only have their own interests in mind. What bums me about these situations is that the victims can't speak as loudly as the people in power. That's the tragedy of attempting to reveal what is happening to innocent people. They can be squashed, but their lives have been irreparably damaged." The 35-year-old adds, "If you're innocent, you have very little knowledge of the world and you want to succeed. People with parasitic interests will see you as their prey."
I can get a good career doing this. You know, it's going to be good.
Wood says he was not a victim of abuse because his mother Deborah protected him and he avoided those kinds of situations. He goes on to allege that even as an adult in the industry, he has been, quote, "led down dark paths to realize that these things probably are still happening."
The crazy thing is he's trying to play innocent when he's just as guilty. Have we forgotten about Harry Potter and the witchcraft that it promotes? He's no different than Tom Brady or Tom Brady's wife. And if he hasn't had these things happen to him, but he knows these things are happening and he's not speaking out, what does that tell you about himself? He's a coward. You know why? Because he doesn't want to lose his position that he has in Hollywood. He's afraid, he's fearful, because he knows that they will come after him and they will destroy him. He's a coward. He's just as guilty as them. Yeah, I know what's going on, but I don't want to say anything because they're going to come after me and they're going to take everything that I own. Take everything. They're going to destroy me, do irreparable damage. This is what happens when you're not in Christ. So again, he's just as bad, if not worse, than those people that are actually doing it. At least they're true about who they are. Tom Brady told you straight up. His wife told you straight up. Cowards. Cowards, cowards, cowards. I'm not going to say anything. I haven't had it happen to me, but I'm not going to say nothing. I'm going to make movies that promote witchcraft too. My mom is going to allow it, and it's okay though.
I mean, there's protections for animals, you know, in filming. I think there need to be protections legally put in place to protect people when they're filming, human beings.
Jennifer Lawrence now hopes that legislation will be enacted in the wake of the Harvey Weinstein scandal. Weinstein's decades-long chain of alleged harassment was a dirty Hollywood secret. As far as we know, though, all of Weinstein's accusers were of legal age when the alleged incidents occurred.
But there is Hollywood's other dirty secret that victimizes the most vulnerable, children. And someone who's spoken out about this and is painfully aware is former child star Corey Feldman.
You freeze. You're in shock. I mean, children aren't supposed to handle that sort of stuff. I can tell you that the #1 problem in Hollywood was and is and always will be pedophilia.
Nobody talks about pedophilia.
It's the big secret.
And it's widespread?
Oh, yeah. I was surrounded by them.
For years now, as evidenced on Nightline in 2011, Corey Feldman has been claiming that he and his good friend, the late Corey Haim, were victims of molestation when they were young actors. Last year, he opened up to our Alex Hudgens.
Why did kids are scared. You know, kids don't think I'm going to go. First of all, for me, the person that was doing it to me the most, you know, well, I mean, I could say that the two people that did it to me were both close friends of mine, or so I thought.
Feldman claims Haim endured more than him. In his book Choreography, he alleges that Haim was raped on the set of the 1986 film Lucas. The following year, 1987, their film The Lost Boys came out.
It was when we were both on the set of Lost Boys that, things were happening to both of us, not from anyone on the set, might I clear that up, but, outside elements.
How did people not know when these are two, or did they know and they just weren't doing anything about it?
I mean, I know he told a lot of people. That's the thing that's so upsetting to me. It's not like it's just me that knows this story.
Other people know.
A lot of people know.
And this is the world that we live in. The man sat there and told you. We told people, and nobody cared. Nobody cared enough to really say anything. We told several people this was happening to us, and nobody really cared. You know why? Because the love of money is the root of all evil. I don't want to say anything because this director or whoever is going to destroy me. It's ridiculous. And there's also an agenda behind this coming out. There's many agendas. It's an agenda by God because God is showing you this, that this is going on, to let people know what's happening. And then there's also agenda on the flip side where the unclean spirits and the people that are doing this, they have to tell the truth. Now, let me make sure I clarify this. Just because they're telling the truth doesn't mean that they have truth in them. So they come out and they say these different things and they say, well, we told them, God. So, hey, we're going to keep on doing what we're doing. If they don't say anything, then that's not our fault. That's their fault. This is to condition the people to accept it because they're not reacting to it like they should be.
They're still working, they're still out there, and they're some of the richest, most powerful people in this business.
Back in 2013, on The View, Feldman was insistent that perpetrators are still out there, but says he won't name names due to statute of limitation laws in California. He also has another reason that echoes something we've heard regarding Harvey Weinstein.
From what I've seen, every time somebody tries to bring up a public name and they have a lot of money and power and a publicity machine behind them, the person who does the accusing is the one that ends up looking bad.
They would pull away the better looking younger kids and keep them for their own after party, and it would turn into a pool party. And then they'd have their rules. Oh, there's no swimsuits on in the pool.
In the wake of the Weinstein scandal, the producers of the film An Open Secret about teen sex abuse in Hollywood released the film for free on Vimeo for 9 days. Much of the film focuses on the organized system within Hollywood for grooming and then abusing children.
All right, let's go to the scriptures. Exodus chapter 22, verse 18. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse number 10. There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that useth divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 23. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. 2 Kings chapter 9, verse 22. And it came to pass when Joram saw Jehu that he said, Is it peace, Jehu? And he answered, What peace, so long as the whoredoms of thy mother Jezebel and her witchcrafts are so many. So if you have witchcraft going on, there can never be true peace. 2 Chronicles chapter 33, verse number 6. And he caused his children to pass through the fire in the valley of the son of Hinnom. Also he observed times and used enchantments and used witchcraft, and dealt with a familiar spirit and with wizards, and he wrought much evil in the sight of the Lord to provoke him to anger. So witchcraft provokes the Lord to anger. Micah chapter 5, verse number 12. And I will cut off witchcrafts out of thine hand, and thou shalt have no more soothsayers. Nahum chapter 3, verse number 4. Because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts, that selleth nations through her whoredoms, and families through her witchcrafts. Sells families through her witchcraft. That shows you how powerful this is. So when you get into bloodlines and stuff like that, this is what it boils down to, right here. The passing of the families on to the unclean spirits to be able to control them and possess their bodies and do different things. Then we see Galatians chapter 5, verse number 20, it talks about the works of the flesh. And we see one of them is what? Witchcraft. Now, are we going around killing people today who are witches? No, we're not. Because we are fighting a spiritual warfare. We are fighting a spiritual warfare. So we're not doing that. But a witch, you still don't suffer a wish to live. You're not going after the person. You're going after the spirit that is within that person. Now, if that person continues to bind themselves to that spirit, then you really know who they are. You have possession and oppression. Some people are just oppressed by devils, like Mary, not Mary, Jesus' mother, but I forgot her last name. The one that was possessed with seven unclean spirits. She didn't want to continue to do that. She did not want to continue to do that. So when she was free from the unclean spirits, then she walked in the freedom of being freed from those unclean spirits and not doing all the harlotry that she was doing, using her sexuality in a form of witchcraft. So that's for those who are a little bit more studied to understand that when you are on the battlefield in regards to how you want to handle a person. But the Spirit will guide you and lead you and show you how to handle a person. Because if that person is still in there, then that person will cry out and you'll be able to tell. But let's continue forward. I don't want to dwell on that too much. That's for another video. So we see the definition of witch, and we see it says female magician, sorceress, and later use especially a woman supposed to have dealings with the devil or evil spirits, and to be able by their cooperation to perform supernatural acts. And it is the feminine of Wicca, which is what? A sorcerer, a wizard, man who practices witchcraft or magic. To practice witchcraft. Soothsayer. Let's look up soothsayer and see what it gives us. It should give us the same thing, but let's see if we can get a little bit more wisdom, a few more nuggets to help us out in this spiritual war. So it can be used as one who speaks truth. You see? Just because a person speaks truth doesn't mean that they have truth in them, because they're leading you away to worship false gods. Fortune teller. Act of speaking the truth. That's why I love looking up words, because it gives you more wisdom. So what does sooth mean? Let's look at that real quick. Sooth, truth, justice, righteousness. So they are soothsaying. They are truth speakers. They are justice speakers. They are righteous speakers. But they really are not, because they're speaking truth, but they don't have truth in them. They're using what is true and they're manipulating it by their words, which is witchcraft. The manipulation of words, that's what witchcraft boils down to. So when these people are, for example, when they say, you Christians are so judgmental, judge not lest ye be judged, that's a form of witchcraft. because they are trying to get people not to be obedient to what God said, and that was to judge righteously. So that is a form of witchcraft when they say that, because they are manipulating words. The Bible does say, judge not lest ye be judged. But it doesn't say that in the context of what it's talking about. So I can bust out and I can say, judge not lest ye be judged. The person, oh yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. That's witchcraft. That's witchcraft, because that is true. Judge not lest ye be judged is true. But what's the context of it? Don't judge hypocritical judgment, because we have other scriptures that say to judge righteously. So you got to be careful with people and words and everything. People, they get so caught up in, in the show, the magician show. You know what I'm saying? When they do all this, crazy stuff with their hands and they be flying and stuff like that. There's other stuff. It has to do with the words. It has to do with the words. Because by the words, that's what they want to get you to come into agreement with. Once you come into agreement with the words, the manipulation of words that they're saying, then it's binding. It's a binding covenant. Now you're under their spell. You're under their power. So I'm telling y'all this so you can understand it. So hopefully, by the power of God, some spells that you may have over you can be broken. Or you can give this knowledge to others and help them. But people don't want you to know this. They don't want you to know these secrets. They don't want you to know how they're operating, what they're doing. And you're wondering why you can't overcome certain things. Because you got spells over you. You come into agreement with what people are saying. Even with my wife, if she asks me to do something, I say I'll think about it. I don't say yes, because by me saying yes, I've come into agreement with what she has said, and now I'm obligated to do that. And if I don't meet the obligation, then there are consequences to it. Understand these things, y'all. This is important in these last days. Understand this stuff. These so-called pastors, they're not going to teach it to you. And the ones that are teaching it, they're using it, like Stephen Darby was doing. So let's read a few more scriptures and then we'll close it out. We're going to read Matthew chapter 4, verses 8 through 11. Again, the devil taketh him up into... Again, the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them, and saith unto him, all these things will I give thee, all these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. How do we apply that to what we just learned? The devil came to Tom Brady, came to his wife. He told his wife, if you will bow down and worship me, he showed his wife the kingdoms of the world and their glory. I will give you a portion of this kingdom right here. This kingdom of supermodel. I will make you a supermodel. The men and the women will lust after you. I will exalt you if you bow down and worship me. I will give you power that you've never known. I will give you power over men. I will give you a man who will be one of the greatest men of football, and men will be worshiping him, and it will be because of you. Because I will give you the power to control him, manipulate him. And she agreed. She fell down and she worshiped the devil and still does. Then he came to Tom Brady. If you bow down and worship me, you've done good things already, but if you bow down and worship me, then I will make you the GOAT of football. The GOAT of Mendy's. I will give you power that you have never known. I will give you the greatest comeback you have ever had. The greatest comeback that will ever be for right now. until somebody else comes along and then they sacrifice more to Satan to be in that position. And then we read in verse number 10, then saith Jesus unto him, get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. Then the devil leaveth him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him. That's what Tom Brady should have did. But Tom Brady knew and knows that he wouldn't be where he is today without doing the sacrifices that he has done. Tom Brady is one of the most unathletic players to ever play the game. And that's not stuff I'm making up. That's fact. He was what we call a nobody that became a somebody overnight because he was in a system, not the system of the New England Patriots, because they operating in witchcraft too. The New England Patriot system is a reprogramming camp. But he is in a system of witchcraft to harness that power to do the different things that they do. Interesting that Robert Kraft, Witchcraft, I'm just saying. And they're the greatest organization, the greatest football organization on the planet that all the other teams, they want to model themselves after. But hey, what do I know? I just know what they said and I know what the Bible says. So you can either believe the Bible or not. But if you are into witchcraft, this is what I ask you to do. If you don't believe what I said, put the power of witchcraft up against the power of God. Do that. Send a curse. If you're a witch or whatever, you do this. Send a curse to a true born-again Christian and watch what happens to you. I dare you. I dare you to do it. And watch what happens. So right there, if you are bold enough to take that challenge, when you find out what happens to you, when you try to send a curse to a true born-again believer, matter of fact, you can send it this way. If you're bold enough. If you're bold enough to do that, when it doesn't work the way you want it to work, then you will know where the real power is. In the true Lord Jesus Christ of the Holy Bible. Play with it. So with that being said, God bless each and every one of you in Jesus Christ's name. As always, stay focused for Jesus. And as you know, truth is not debated, it's declared. It's real out here, y'all. This warfare is real. Wake y'all butts up and stop playing games. Stop playing church. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If it was edifying to you, be sure to do your part and share it on all your social media outlets, websites, and forums. Your help is greatly appreciated to help fight this war and reach lost souls. Don't forget to like, dislike, and/or subscribe. Be sure to also check out our website, stayingfocusedforjesus.life. And make sure you check out that resource section, which has a lot of videos that I share and some other stuff. Books, documents, PDF, websites, many things, and it's growing daily as I add to it. Also follow us on Facebook for even more content. Staying Focused for Jesus on Facebook.
Because you say I am rich and increased with goods and am need of nothing. And oh no, you are wretched and miserable, poor, blind and naked. So then because you are lukewarm, else, something worse, something more like the world. Where is the church? We become something else, neither hot nor cold, but lukewarm church. Jesus said, I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire, that you may be rich, clothed in white raiment to hide the shame of your nakedness. So then, because you are lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, Jesus said that he would spit you out of his mouth. Stop playing church. We become something else, something worse, something more like the world. Where is the church? We become something else, neither hot nor cold, but lukewarm church. You say you a Christian, living like a child to hell. You a Christian, go to church, say the sinner's prayer. You a Christian, stay getting high, getting throwed, yeah. Monday through Saturday, anything go, yeah. Caught up in the world and left your first love. Jesus died in your place, he shed his precious blood. But you gotta be seen, pastor, apostle. Wake up, church, time to go and preach the gospel.